going to call this meeting of the City of Alva Tourism Tax Board to order. And the first item of business will be discussion and action on the minutes of the May 15, 2019 meeting.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes from the May 15th, 2019 meeting.
A motion to approve.
Second it?
Juanita,
Aye.
Charles,
Aye.
Norma.
Aye. Next is discussion and action on the May financial report, and Jody, you're up.
Okay, starting off, we have $660,391.21, $939 for the Advertising and Promotions Committee, $4,000 for the Alva Chamber of Commerce Northwest Oklahoma Visitor Center, $10,900 to the Nesatanga Arts Festival, $5,000 to the Heartland Best Robotics, $26,300 to the Big Cruise and Car Show, $3,900 to the Alva's Crazy Cool Boulevard Cruise, $2,910 to the 2019 Tourism Marketing, $5,000 to the 23rd Annual NWOSU Football Golf Tournament, $6,000 to the Northwest Oklahoma Junior Rodeo Association, $3,970 to the Alva High School Summer Baseball Tournament, $20,000 to the Alva Rotary Club 4th of July Spectacular, $4,000 for the 15th Annual Alva Fire Department Mudslinger Shootout, $500 for Future, $2,500 for Standing, which leaves us with $510,472.21. And Norval just signed the one for Nesatanga.
And will that be all that Nesatanga has?
Mhm.
Okay. So they only used like $5,400 of their money.
We didn't use
10,000.
a couple of the, like the special entertainment, we didn't have to pay anybody. And the train, since it rained in the beginning, I just told him to go home, so. We saved you guys money.
So we have 5,000 more. I did run some numbers on the tourism money coming in this year, which it's up about 53% from last year at the same time. So that's pretty cool. That's good.
Good news.
On this last quarter, there's a couple of them didn't report again.
They haven't reported it yet, so it would be up even more if they had reported theirs, so, but they haven't reported it yet. But I took just my numbers to numbers and didn't even, and so it would be even bigger percentage if they had put theirs in. So,
Do we have anyone, like, I don't know who handles this, the city office, I guess? Is that who handles that coming in?
Yeah.
Do they, like this, in this case, when there's a couple of them that haven't reported, do they pursue that, after 30 days or 60
I
days?
feel like that is a yes, but I would have to double check on that though.
Yeah.
Or I think they say, if, like if hotel number 4 didn't have anybody or something, I think they reported that way too. So, but I could double check because I can
Why
ask
don't
them
you do
about
that
that.
and report back to us next time?
Yeah, I would do that.
See kind of how they handle it. And who actually, maybe, if we've got questions that we need to talk to in the city office.
Yeah, I can do that.
And I think they have 60 days, Charles.
Is that what it
I
is?
think they do. But I don't know that. If
I
it's
know
60
that
days
it sounds like that.
Yeah, I think that's what I've heard is they have 60
Yeah.
days.
I was unaware of that. I wonder if there's probably a time limit of some sort. accept the financial reports as reported.
We have a motion to approve?
I second it.
Charles?
Aye.
Juanita?
Aye.
York?
Aye. All right, the next is discussion and action on the Nescatunga Golf Tournament, not to exceed $6,000.
I'm Larry Harmon, if any of you aren't familiar with me. I'm here on behalf of the Alva Golf and Country Club to request funding through the tourism tax fund to assist us with our, we call it the Nescatunga Golf Tournament. This year it'll be held July 12th, 13th, and 14th. It's a 3-day event. This has been going on, I believe 69 was the first year of the Nescatunga, when the original people, and I don't know who was on the boards at that time, but when they started this tournament, the sole purpose was to create a viable entity so out-of-town people would come to Alva. And so they created that. You had to have at least one club member and 2 to 3 guests. Due to our, increase in membership, we do not any longer require 3 out-of-town guests. You can have 2 out-of-town guests if you wish. I have played in it, this tournament, for several years, and I normally have 2 out-of-town guests, 1 local and myself, and 2 out-of-town. Last year, I can only speak for my team players that came. I had 1 from Oklahoma City and 1 from Edmond come. Both of them did stay 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night in a motel. Last year we had 88 out of the 160 from out of town. I do not have any facts or figures as to how many of those stayed in motels. I know some of them would have stayed with family and friends, so, but I can speak only on behalf of myself. 2 of my members stayed, so equivalent of 4 nights in lodging. Anyway, that was the purpose of this tournament, was to generate some activity for the motel, hotel business, the restaurants, the convenience stores, the filling stations, and there will be 160 participants. It's composed of 40 teams of 4 persons, male or female. Quite a few of them will bring families with them, and so if it's a lady, normally it's the male that's playing, but the ladies have the afternoon Saturday to shop, and some of them, I'm sure, do that. I can't, again, tell you what kind of numbers that is spent in town, but I do know that last year we did have 88 non-Alvans come and play. They come from the city. Don't have very many from Kansas, but had several from Texas come up here. And so they stay, some of them stay 3 nights because the tournament doesn't get over till 7:30 on Sunday. And if they were living in Fort Worth, they didn't want to drive 6.5 hours home. So anyway, we are asking for financial assistance to fund that. Last year I did come and request funds, which you did grant $6,000 to us. We did revamp our entry fee. We did raise it. It had been constant at $400 for quite some time. 300 of that went to team play and 100 to individual pay. We did increase that $50 this year, so that's the reason that the increase. We pay out 70% on our funding, so the club retains 30% of, and if we do the 14,000, we'll retain 30% of The funds, again, we can't tell exactly. We can just kind of go by previous years. We are having the Saturday night meal catered. It's at $18 a plate. The 3,600, that's setting that for 200. We've had as many as, I think, 310 one year, which was a little short in food that night. But anyway, that's not a normal. That's pretty much. Also, since it's a 3-day event and our staff out there, they go to work early and go home late. So we paid quite a bit of overtime that week. So that's what we are asking the tourism committee to consider, is assisting us with funding for the meal or banquet and for additional labor. Any questions?
This is just an observation. 310 people out there. That place was pretty packed.
It was very bad. And of course, they weren't all in there at one time, but yes, very packed. 280 is our fire code max.
When you all had the banquet or afterwards, when you have your gathering with the meal, the wives, are they invited out as well?
Sure, yeah, and they're
Okay.
free, yeah. What we do is, since there's 4 participants, their family can come free. So if you got 3 children and a wife, 4 of them can come. Because there will be a lot of me, I'm single, so I don't have any family to bring, so kind of washes out.
Okay.
Long run. But yeah, they can bring their family out and eat.
On your application, Larry, last time you said, it says that you didn't get anything in 18.
Yeah, we received $6,000 last year from them.
Or is that 17? The way you reported it on your application, you're saying that your last funding was in 2017 for $60,000.
Well,
Is that just a typo?
I would probably say, Charlie, that that's probably a typo, because yes, we did receive $6,000. And I don't think we quite used that, because again, you set a max of 3,600, and I mean, but our meals last year was a little bit above that, but the labor was a little bit below that. Came out to like $5,800 and something, I believe, last year, but we had requested, and you approved. But yes, that would be a typo, that Charlie, because we did receive $6,000 last year.
So the entry fee total this time compared to last year,
Pardon?
what's the difference between the entry fees?
We
last year and
raised the
total?
price. We raised the price, and also we had, it'd been a thing for years, and they still put a player gift pack. That is a golf ball for 160 people, but it's got Nescatung on it. Last year, we gave what was called, I don't know, goodie packs or something, and those things resulted in about $6 to $7 a player, and most of the people didn't even want it, so we discontinued that. So we did cut some costs this year, and then we raised the fee $50 per team this year.
So you raised, so 40 times 50 is $2,000, right?
Yes, we've increased $2,000. And then we keep 30% of that 2,000. The rest is paid out. But yes, we did increase $2,000 total in revenue.
Some of that revenue goes toward, I mean, just the increase of bringing in more revenue, what type of things? are
Well,
you
yeah, and
looking
I
at?
mean, like last year, I mean, as far as expenses, the girls went and bought T-shirts that said staff on them or something. Well, they were like $12 or $14. I don't know exact, but there's 8 of those people, so there's another $120. I mean, they're minute, but it still adds up. So we cut those out and said, hey, you can just wear a shirt from last year if you have it. But, you know, there's quite a few little incidental expenses. We do Lance Harsman from the sports thing down there. He does bring porta potties, because we've got a lot of people, and puts on the back of the golf course. He bills us $150 for that. One year he might send us a bill, the next year he might not. So, and those are $150 each for 3 days, so it's $300. Jerry Garnett with the, he has a portable ice machine business, and he'll bring out additional ice for us. Well, like last year, that was $500 and some. Well, this year we've purchased a larger ice maker, which produces a little more, and we can go to the thing down there by Love's and get some just as we need it. So that hopefully is cut out. And again, I don't know the exact penny, but that was close to $500 if you had that. So there's a lot of little incidentals like that that we cut out that really wasn't needed that we spent.
So do you have quite a few people that do stay overnight out of town?
Yes, I think quite a few of them do, but again, I didn't police each one of them to find out where they stayed. I know that just of my team, 2 of them stay in the motel, and they stay on Friday night and Saturday night. So that's equivalent to 4 rooms. And so last year there was 86 others out of towners. Again, some of those I'm sure stayed at friends' houses, families' homes. So, but had to be a few of them that stayed in motels. Because I booked some for some of the people at some of the motels, and what Comfort Inn did for them was they pay one night and they give them 1 night free. So
I don't know. I guess as far as out of towners, everyone that, I've been out there during Nescatunga, and from what I know, there are quite a few out of towners.
yeah.
So I don't know if it's still that way. It's been a couple of years since I've been, but
Well, last
Make it
year out of
reason.
160, 88 were from out of town of the 160. So a little, just a few over half.
and so many, I know, just from experience, I guess, having a golfer in the family, that a lot of these men will bring in out-of-towners because they need out-of-towners on their team. And I know
Yeah.
they're scouting out
This
from out of
tournament
town.
initially was to benefit the city of Alva. It's somewhat turned into an ego trip for the better players. I go out there to have fun with my family and
Sure.
hopefully can compete and possibly win something, but if I don't, it's not the end of the world. But some of the players go to Austin, Texas. I know Corey Garrison's got one coming from Texas, one from Kansas City, and one from Wichita to play with him.
So that payout, the 70-30 split, is that kind of what most clubs do
Yes.
around here? Is that number of teams kind of the same thing
Well-
most of them do?
Norval, we have to set that at a limit because we're a 9-hole course and we have 2 par 5s. So that puts 2 teams on each tee box times 9, and then 2 B groups, which is 4. So 18 and 4 is 20. So we can put 20 in the morning, 20 in the afternoon. We always have more teams that wish to play. We just don't have the capacity to handle them because of time constraints. It'd get too convoluted with too many teams, with too many Bs. And again, a lot of the players, think they're going to hit they hit their tee ball 250. Well, they think they're going to hit the second one 270. So they wait for that green to clear. And that's fine. So it's a long ordeal day. We try to limit it to 6 hours of play each day.
That's
So
good.
what we do is we have a morning flight that goes off at 7. Hopefully they're done by 1. And then at 1:30 we have another flight that goes off. And hopefully be done by 7:30. We start our meal at 7.
So
Good
all
that
the
you got
things
more.
we've,
Oh, I was just gonna say, it's good that they got more people that wanna play than they got some.
Yeah.
of all the things we fund, in my opinion, this is one thing that should be self-supporting over time. Somehow, either you raise the fees, we talked about this before.
And we're making an effort to do that. We
Yeah.
have
But
really
then you
increased.
made the effort and nothing's changed as far as what you're asking for, right?
That's true,
Yeah.
yes. But Charlie, I would bet if I stopped and took a deal that through this tournament, we bring a lot more people from out of town that actually stay in motels than some of the other ventures you talk about.
Well, that's true, but it's like we talked about too, this is kind of a gambling game. We pay off, we pay money. So I look at this really as kind of country club welfare, in my opinion. That's where I'm coming from. Because it's a good deal. I'm not saying it's not a good deal. I'm just saying it should be self-supporting. And, you know, the sooner you get there, the better off, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm just trying to think about other examples. It seems like, well, whether it be like the rodeo or some of the other events that we've got, there's, I don't know. I mean.
You don't bring the rodeo people in and give them a banquet for $3,600 and give them all these packages deals. It's quite a bit of, this is a heck of a deal for the player. I think, I mean, for what you normally pay to go play golf on, and then you get all these perks, if you will, or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think the purpose of that, and now, I can't relate or tell you what they did 30 years ago, but again, the sole purpose of this was to bring those people, and you've got to kind of flavor the pot, I think, to get them to come here and stay for a few days. Yeah.
But it's always been, until recently, it's always been self-supporting, it's been self-sustaining.
Well,
And you haven't increased the numbers.
that's
of
somewhat true,
participants.
Charlie. We have lost money at this for quite some time. I've been involved with them for quite some time. I don't think anybody knew about the tourism board and knew that there was any funds available. So that's the reason that, yeah. And I'm not going to tell you that, no, they didn't self-sustain 20 years ago. I know while I've been there for quite some time, we have not been. And so we're simply here just asking for financial assistance from your group.
Well, after our discussion last time, I had hoped that you'd come back here and ask for 3,000 instead of 6. I mean, you'd make some kind of effort to ask for less. And you told me, that you have made these efforts, but we have worked, so like I say, nothing's changed really. That's what we're seeing.
Well, I wish I had last year's records with me to show you, and I don't. That's my failure. But we did cut out quite a few expenses because we were even quite a bit further than that off base last year. So 6 was getting us close. Anyway.
Did you add something? And if we cut the expenses and we raise the fees, and we're asking for the same kind of money, it doesn't, I guess that'd be a question I have is, where did that 2,000 plus, what else did you cut? You said, I don't know how many.
It's covering additional
At least
losses.
$3,000 or $4,000 you cut.
Yes,
That's what I'm getting at.
but that's what I'm saying. We had more than $6,000 loss last year by paying that out. I don't have those records, so I can't verify and show that to you.
You lost 6,000 on the tournament after we give you 6,000?
No. We do, the total cost with the meals, last year was one of those years that we had an exorbitant number of meals. a lot of times, there's a lot of people that do not stay and eat. Well, last year just happened to be that there were, and they charge us per plate. And I'm not gonna stand here and tell you numbers that I can't verify, but we plan on 200. Last year we had in the norm of 260, 270 people eat. Well, 70 times 18, that was a lot more than what we budgeted for. So that was an additional expense. But this year we did cut out a couple $1,000s in what I call just kind of knick-knack expenses that wasn't needed. And we did increase the deal 2,000. So hopefully we're getting that down closer to where we can be self-sufficient in near future.
I have to interject on just one thing that I've learned over the past couple of years, that the Alva Golf and Country Club has really brought in many people from all walks of life, and that's exciting. I mean, when I see just our little golf course in Alva and what's become of it, I mean, we've got people who are really reaching out and welcoming so many people from our community, and I think it's become more and more popular. And I mean, I'm even a part of, becoming involved with that and seeing all the other people that have become involved in it. And I really feel that it's changed. It may have changed in terms of so many people from our community are welcome to go out, and many of the people don't have membership, but they do go out and they will pay, and they become involved with many of the other people that do have the membership out there. And it's exciting to see all the different ones becoming involved. And I want to say over the last 3 years, that's one thing I've seen. Just through our community and people from Cherokee and surrounding towns who will actually come in and golf at Alva. And I think it's kind of become a bigger thing that some of it we're just really excited about. And I didn't used to hear that, but that's maybe something different. But in the last 3 years, it's really become more something that's heard about, and people want to become a part of it. So I'm happy to see that. And
Yeah, a couple of the guys who work for me from Cherokee, they drive over all the time to go for there.
it's really, I think people are just really becoming more and more involved with it. I mean, it's kind of maybe one of those little things outside of our town that, and I really don't know, like I said, how it used to be, but people are really more, I mean, they're excited nowadays with becoming a part of that. And then again, the poll and the things that are going on, because we need all the things that we can get around Alva to become involved in or active, as far as whether on weekends or something to do around this community. And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed and taken part in just in the last 3 years.
Well, for instance, the Nescatunga Art Show, their funding, part of that comes from the state. All of a sudden, they're not getting that anymore. And you're not telling us that story. You don't have any funding that went away.
No.
So basically, it was staying up at one time because they raised their fees or whatever, so they could at least try to make it break even. That's my point. You're not getting enough fees to cover your deal. The thing I would ask you too, Nescatunga, I know, does not furnish a banquet for people that come to exhibit or that kind of thing at $3,600. Does the car show?
Car show does have free food on Friday night for the people who come in and stuff.
But it's not $18 a plate, is it?
No, it's hot dogs and stuff.
That's why I'm saying it's country club welfare. We've got a posh deal there, and I think it's great. I don't have any, and I love the country club, and I've supported it and used to be a member. I've still got my membership, but I don't play anymore. So I agree with you, Juanita. It's a necessary thing. I'm just talking about event that's, in my opinion, should be self-sustaining, or at least closer than it was last year, after our discussion from last year.
Well, I will say that we can make, on this committee, we can make, we've done it many times, make a motion for whatever amount.
Yeah.
We just cannot make it for more than was requested.
What do you think it would take? Tell me about the extra labor at 2,400. What do you think you're going to need there, or as far as?
And that will probably run that. We usually put 2 concession things, one on number 8, and then one up by the pool on coming off 3. And since we start at 7 in the morning, we probably don't man that till about 10, but we'll have 2 people there, I mean 1 and 1 on each of those the entire day. And we pay the labor out there $12 an hour. That's what they earn. So there's possibly, I could say 10 maybe till 6, so there's 8 hours. But so that's $96 for 3 days additional on each one of those. So there's almost $600 additional just on that.
How many of your personnel are on salary?
We have Kennedy, Jordan, Emily, 3 full-time girls, 1 part-time, and then the club or the superintendent. He manages both the indoors and
And your
outdoors.
greenskeeper?
Yeah,
So you got 4 people on salary? And then you're telling me how
4.
many extra people did you hire then?
We'll
This
have,
event?
well, and it's not all that they're just going to be extra. We will hire some additional help, but they will work 10 and 12-hour days. They'll get their close to 40 hours in, Charlie, in 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So you bring in some extra people?
Yeah, we'll
Just
hire
for this
we'll
event?
hire some additional people to sit those locations. Because all they're doing is sitting and selling pop or something and taking the money in, so. And that's basically, those probably do not make money, those 2 positions, but it's to expedite play. Instead of the players stopping after 3 and coming in the clubhouse and hanging out, they can stop right there at the north end of the pool and buy something to drink and then go right to 4. And so that's strictly the business. That's not probably a money-making event, but it's to expedite play as much as anything. Keep it moving.
So if I bring my family out, and I'm a player, and I bring 5 people out, my 3 kids and my wife, you're going to pay out $90 to feed them, right?
That's correct. Well, 18
And I
times
pay basically
whatever.
$100 a person to play per team. 110, 112.50.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. This is a really good deal.
Well, Charlie, and yes, we used to charge for the additional people, and it got to be, nobody was there that wanted to keep tabs on that. If I brought 3 people instead of 2, there were, originally, the intent was 8 people could come eat free. The 4 players and 4 spouses, 4 girlfriends, 4 of anybody could come and eat. So that was 8. Well, then there would be people that would have a teenage child that might come. Well, we actually tried to sell those plates to them, but then nobody wanted to be in charge of taking that at that point in time. Everybody's been out playing, they just finished, now they want to eat, go home and take a shower. And so it just evolved where we just said, fine, it kind of works out even, because there's a lot of people that the players will eat. So we can absorb a few of those other people at that. But yes, if you were a member and you wanted to come out and bring your wife and 3 children, you can come out and eat.
So the date, again, I could flip back.
July
here.
12th is
That's right.
Friday.
Okay,
That is a practice round, a play day, and then 13th and 14th, Saturday and Sunday, are the actual tournament dates.
okay. Can I make a proposal? Just that this year, being that it is coming right up and around the corner, that this year that we fund this, and then with advance, you've given the notice, but that next year, they're gonna be looking at, they're gonna need to do something different than
Yeah.
what, I mean.
And it doesn't really show that much on this paper, truthfully, but we did make some strides. We cut out a few $1,000s in expenses and tried to increase $2,000. So I know the numbers don't look that, but they were further apart than the 6,000. Now they're kind of getting down there. So, if we chip at that again next year and knock out another 1,000 and raise it 2,000 more, we'll get there.
Because we won't, most likely, next year, this won't happen, this won't be able to happen.
I
But,
understand.
so I'm just trying to make a proposal that maybe in this short amount of time, that maybe we go ahead and approve the 6, and then next year, then knowing that this won't be able to take place as far as the amount, the dollar amount again, that it's gonna have to.
Yeah, we've had this discussion before, and been warned, and so it's gonna stick next time, if I'm still on the board.
So that's a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for this year that we go ahead and approve the $6,000 for the Nescatunga golf tournament for 2019 at $6,000.
Thank you.
Second,
A motion and a second to approve $6,000 for the Nescatunga Golf Tournament.
Juanita,
Aye.
Charles,
aye.
Norman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good luck, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Get a bunch of people to spend some time in Alva. Next is the remarks and inquiries by the Tourism Tax Committee. Anything new on the arena you want to tell us? Nope. Anything?
No, I don't have anything.
I'd entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Juanita,
Aye.
Charles,
Aye.
Norman.
Aye.